I'm in charge of it. I know. Yeah, I have nothing to do with it, so I'll figure it out. Okay. Ein Dollar and Aleph. He's giving a get, but he says a condition. If she gives him 200 zuz, he's giving her a get. I'm going to ask that on condition that she gives him money. So that makes sense. That's regular Tanai, and it's a get if she should give. That means that it's not a get if she doesn't give. But the Gemara is going to go into intricacy over here. When is it a get? Is it a get right away with a Tanai, or is it a get when eventually she gives the money? But that's open for a discussion. It just says that she's divorced and she has to give. And if she doesn't give the money, then she's not divorced. Any condition. And if he specified that he's only giving the get if she gives the money within 30 days, so then it's only get if she gave within 30 days. In the son of love, so if the money came within 30 days, so then she's divorced. Then it's like she fulfilled it tonight. If not, she didn't fulfill it tonight. She's not divorced. Good. Everything sounds simple. There was a story in Sidon. Sidon is Zidon. That's today it's also called Sidon. Zidon. At Bar Lebanese up there, it says Bar Lebanon. And someone said to his wife that he's giving the get on the condition that she returns to him his coat, talis. The word it's talis, I think, is talis, and in Greek, whatever it comes out, it's talis, whatever. But we call it for short a talis. So some kind of a garment. And then, but she lost it. Vav, that's Talisa. It was lost. The talis was lost, so she couldn't return it. So the question was: is there a way that she can give the get? She can get the get? Could she fulfill the condition? She doesn't have the talis to give back. She would like to. It's good enough to give the value, even though the Tanai sounded like he wants the talis back. How about if she gives the money? The value of the talis, is that good enough? So it doesn't seem related to the previous Mishnah, to the Mishnah that I just spoke about a condition. This is a particular case about this talis dafka, or is it the value of the talis? So the Gemara is going to talk about how does this Maisa come in over here. So the Mishnah said three things, more or less. The first thing was about a Tanai, fine, she has to fulfill the Tanai. Second was a Tanai that was time bound within 30 days, also she has to fulfill within the time. And the last thing was about he wanted a talis and she didn't give the talis, but she gave the value of the talis. Talis wasn't available. So Shema Gamliel says that's good enough. It seems Rabbanan argue, not so simple. It doesn't say in the Mishnah Rabbanan argue, but it seems that his of Shema Gamliel's chiddush and Rabbanan do argue. My v'titain. What does it mean that she should give the money? Of course, she has to give the money. The question is, she should give it, but that means that she's divorced right away. She's divorced right away on the condition she gives the money, and when the money comes, she's divorced retroactively from the time that he gave the get. When she gives it, means that divorce doesn't take effect until she gives the money. You look at it like a tonight. You say, is it a condition, or does it mean to say, I'll divorce you, I'm giving you the divorce, but it doesn't take effect until the money comes, or takes effect right away, like Stiffy would say, Me'achshav. We had the Asugi before, as you say, Me'achshav, so then it happens right away. But on the condition, when it takes effect, when the condition is fulfilled, it takes effect retroactively. Yeah, it says v'titain. So what does it mean v'titain? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It means no. So you can't tell from that. That the Gemara shows you can't tell from that word. It means the Mishnah really means to say that if she doesn't give the money, so she's not divorced. Then maybe the Mishnah does mean one of these two choices, but you see in the Gemara you can read it either way. Either it means when she gives, she's divorced when she gives, and it means only when she gives, or it means she's Megareshus right away and she still has to give. So the Gemara has both possibilities. Machlok Shavuna and Rav Yehuda. My benai, what would be enough community between the two halachas? Of course, when is she divorced? But is she divorced right away or is she divorced? No. But the Gemara says what's half community when she's divorced? That between the time that she was given the document until she gave the money, the get is not here anymore. It got torn up, it got lost. So if the get was right away on a condition, so the get was right away, don't care, it got lost. But if it's not a get until the money comes, so then it wasn't a get at the time. As we said, she doesn't need another get. The get is good. The get was good. Then even though it got torn up, it was a divorce from then when the condition is fulfilled. The condition gets fulfilled even though the get is not around. If you said it's only a get when she gives the money, so it's because at the time that she gave the money, the get wasn't there anymore. So machlokas. Same machlokas between Avuna and Rav Yehuda, mamish the same people, the same issue, mamish. The same thing is by kedushin. If he gave made a condition about when the kedushin that the kedushin should take place, should take effect only if she gives money. He's going to give money. Of course, here the condition is the opposite. He's the one who's being mekadesh. So he could have made a condition on Manaseh she gives, but it's more what would you say, appropriate that he's giving the money. So he says that I'm marrying you on the condition that I will give you 200 zuz. So it's a condition, and another thing, it's probably more custom like, I'm going to give them money. Not that I'm marrying you, I'm not going to give me money. He could. You can make a condition that unless she gives up, it could be. He's going to give the ring, but she has to give him money in order that kedusha. I guess you can make that. Maybe not. Learn kedusha. I don't know. Maybe there's a problem about that. But the issue is, when does it take place? I'm gonna say that she should give. Okay. V'yitain means again. V'yitain he should give. So the same case over here, and it's made a Tanai, whatever the Tanai is, and it says it's a good kedushin, and he has to give. It means that if he doesn't give the money, then it's not a good kedushin. But the same machlokas, what does it mean? Is it a kedushin right away on a condition, or does the kedushin doesn't take effect until he gives the money? Bitmar, and we have the same machlokas over there. My v'yitain, what does it mean over there in that Mishnah? V'yitain, same issue. That is kedushin right away, but he has to fulfill the condition. When he fulfills the condition, then it's kedushin from the time that he gave the ring. Is only kedushin when he gives. When he gives the money, then the kedushin is going to be kedushin. Exact same machlokes. My benai, what would be enough community over here? You could have talked about maybe if the money's not around anymore. If the kesef kedushin, I don't know if the market could have said not enough community similar to before. In between the kedushin, the ring that he gave her, and him giving the 200 zuz, she got kedushin from somebody else. She accepted a marriage from somebody else. She accepted somebody else married her. So if the kedushin is right away, takes effect, just he has to fulfill the condition from Ruvain. So then when he gives the money, so then she's married to him, to Ruvain, from the time that he gave him the ring. And that's already before Shimon. So Shimon can marry a married woman. But if it doesn't take, Ruvain's kedushin doesn't take effect until he gave the 200 zuz, till he gave it, Shimon stepped in and married her. So he chapped her ring, and he was able to marry her because she wasn't married. That the words would mean that she stuck on her hand, then she accepted kedushin from somebody else. But when that's kedushin right away, just with a tanai, it's only a tanai that he has to do. Mekayim tanai vasli, he could fulfill his tanai later on. But he's kedushin right. He married her first, and the second one's marriage is nothing. That the kedushin only takes effect when he gives the money, 200 zuz. The chayav lahu have a kedushin. It's only kedushin when he gives her the money. Hashtal love a kedushin. But till then, right now. She's not married, so somebody else married her in between. So the Shimon, the second one, got chapped around. So we have the same machlokes, exact thing, same thing, just a different example, but it's all the same thing, kedushin and gittin. And the Gemara wants to know, is there chiddush in each way? You have to have both chidushin, both by gittin and kedushin. The Gemara is going to combine two things together now, two tzadim to say one way, two tzadim to say the other way. One tzad would have been l'chara enough, because you say the chiddush of one way, gittin would be both condition both ways, and it might have even been, I didn't have time to look at it, it might have been even two gersos that got combined over here. But the Gemara is going to say two svaras for each way. Two svaras to say a chiddush of kedushin and gittin. Yashmina gabi kedushin ba'kam ravuna v'yitain. Why does Ravuna say? There's more svaras to say by kedushin that happens right away, only a condition to be fulfilled later on. He's interested in getting close to her. Means he wants it. He's excited about getting married. So he wants to be kedushin right away. He made it tonight. But he said, let's get married right away, and I'll fulfill it tonight later on. By Gerushin, people usually don't want to get divorced only because they have to. So maybe Allah has tried. He doesn't try to do it reason makdimit. He tries to do it as late as possible. So maybe if he said with 200 zuz, he meant when this money will come, so then it'll be a get. This is far to say that kedushin he wants to happen right away, and the gerushin he might want to push off to later. So that would be as far to say that by gerushin there's more reason to say that it happens later, not right away. Another svara in the same being Ashmina and Gabi gerushin, and also for Avuna. Reason why Avuna, if he would have said only gerushin, you wouldn't not have known kedushin. But how come Ravuna? Usually the Gemara would have said at this point, the Gemara would have said, if it would have said only gerushin, then you think that Rav Yehuda only by gerushin because he wants to be later on. Kedushin wasn't going to say that soon. But here the Gemara is saying another reason for Ravuna. V'yashmina gabi gerushin v'kam Rav Huna he titain b'shem de lo kasef lemitzvah. Rav Huna maybe says that it's a gerushin right away because he doesn't mind that it's a gerushin right away, and there's a condition to be fulfilled to get the money. He has to get money from her. He's not embarrassed from her. He divorced her, and is whatever. He's not. What's the word? He's not hesitant. He's not sensitive to anything. She has to give him money if she wants to get to be a get. So he tells her, it's not a get until you give you the money. Nothing to be embarrassed about. The word kasef is embarrassed. He's not embarrassed to demand from her that, it's not a get until you give me the money. When you give me the money, it'll be a get to more prayer. But he has no problem that it should be a get and then demand it later on. Avagav Kiddushin, the ksif mitzvah. By Kiddushin, what do? He married her. Now they're married already. And then, but they're only married if he gives the money. So here she's embarrassed to demand from him. She's the one who wants to get to 200, and they're married already. And then she's going to come and say, you owe me 200 zuz, or else it's not a marriage. Not so pleasant. So maybe maybe over there is more svara by kedushin that she doesn't want it to become a kedushin until she has the money. She doesn't have to go pushing him. This way he has to give kedushin. He'll push off. I'll fulfill it tonight. It wasn't a time limited tonight. So I'll give it. What she wants to. What's she going to do? She just got married and she's going to start demanding from him. So therefore, she'd rather maybe that it shouldn't be kedushin until she gets the money. Yashmina gabi kedushin. Now the behokama Rav Yehuda l'kishayitim. First one line. Yashmina gabi kedushin behokama Rav Yehuda l'kishayitim mishum d'ksiv alamitve. That Rav Yehuda will say maybe only by kedushin that she wants to push it off because she doesn't want it to be. She's embarrassed to demand from him after they're married. Avagabi gerushin d'lo kasef lemitzvah. I'm a model Rav Huna. By gerushin that he's not embarrassed to demand from her after they're divorced. So maybe over there he agrees that there's a gerushin right away. Yashmin gabi gerushin, but come Rav Yehuda l'kishatitain mishum d'lechuka kasi, avagabi gabi kedushin d'lekupa kasi, ema model Rav Huna. The same thing as Mark said before. That's the opposite direction over here. If only we'll say gerushin over there, Rav Yehuda says that maybe over there he said that it's only gerushin later on because he's trying to push off as much as possible. Maybe they'll still be able to make up. But by kedushin that he wants to get married, so maybe he wants to get married right away as soon as possible. So I think the Gemara said in essence two svaras, and either one will be a svara for why you have to say by gerushin and kedushin. Gerushin is two svaras in each direction. The Gemara says one is gerushin he wants right away because the other way. How does it go? Kedushin he wants right away because he wants to marry, and there's another svara. Is there another svara that kedushin should be right away? No, there's a svara that kedushin should be. She's embarrassed. That's how it goes. Gerushin is a svara more svara that gerushin should want right. One might want right away because there's no problem of demanding the money after. That's the reason why it should be right. He doesn't mind that it's right away because he'll demand anyway the money after the gerushin. Kedushin, there's a reason why it should be right away because he wants to marry her as soon as possible. And I think that's how it goes. And then each time the Gemara is as far the other way. That says that. Right. And there were usually one of these svaras would have been enough. One svara would have been enough. That it would have been one says right away, one says later. So the Gemara usual pattern would have been that if it only said one case, you would have said this is the case where he's going to say it's right away. And the other case, he would have said that's the reason why it's later on. The Gemara could have used either one of these svaras to explain why you had to talk about both cases. Okay, so that's why it was necessary to say both cases. And Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda, they don't say all these svaras. They say they're consistent with their opinion, but not all these extra svaras. According to Rav Huna, it happens right away, both gerushin and by kedushin, and according to Rav Yehuda, it happens later on, only after the condition is fulfilled, both by gerushin and kedushin. Meisvei, kasha from a. What's this? This is going to be a brisa. So we said what the nafkaminas would be if it got torn up and the time of the money is not around anymore. Here it says that sounds mamish like Rav Huna, that it happens right away. The gerushin happens right away. Just like the tanai has to be fulfilled. But if the tanai is fulfilled, even though at that time the get is already torn up, doesn't make a difference. She's divorced from before. She shouldn't marry somebody else until the tanai is fulfilled because she doesn't know. The Rashi says this is everyone will agree to this. She shouldn't because maybe the tanai is not going to be fulfilled and then she never was divorced. Of course, you have to wait. But when the tanai is fulfilled, she's taka divorced retroactive. So that's fresh advice like Rav Huna. He died. So the question was the get a get? So it says if she gave the money before he died, the sana ain't as kukaliyabam. If she gave the 200 zuz before the husband died, so she's divorced, then she doesn't have to be to the yavam. Loan son if she didn't give the money before, zakuk al yavam, because the tanai was not fulfilled. Okay, maybe we can't tell yet. Maybe we can't tell. Of course, you can't give it to the what? To the Yorshim. So that's the next. That's the next line. Tana Kama seems to say no, only to him. But Shimon Gamliel Omer, no sentence love of Allah Echov, that's good enough to give to any of the Yorshim also. That's included in the Tanai also. When he says you give me 200 zuz, he didn't mean dafka me. Any of my Yorshim was also good enough. But what do you see? That Adkan lo pligi ella the Marsav Ali below the Yorshai, Marsav Ali afilu the Yorshai. Aval kul yom amiyah to know have. According to Rav Yehuda, that it's only a get when the Tanai is fulfilled. There's nothing to talk about. That even if she would give the money after, it's too late because the get only takes effect when she gives the money. If she didn't give the money before the death, there's nothing to talk about. He died first. He can't give a get after he died, so there's no issue. According to Rav Yehuda, the Brisa doesn't make sense. According to Rav Huna, the get is right away. Rav Shimon, what? Tanna Kama says what? That if she gave the money before he died. That would have been either way. No matter what you hold, there would have been a get before. No matter what, before he died, she got divorced either from the time of the get or from the time of the money. But the Shimon Gamliel, it surely wouldn't help to give the money to the Yorshim because when is the get going to take effect? Then it's too late. He's dead already. That would right. They'll disagree that the Tanakh holds that when he says li, it means nafka to me, and the Yorshim is not me. But otherwise, the fact that the get takes effect right away, as long as the Tanai was fulfilled, everybody agrees. Everybody seems to agree. They're not arguing in Machlokes when the get takes place. They're just arguing if li includes also my Yorshim. Give me the money or give my Yorshim the money. But everybody holds that if the Tanai was fulfilled, then it's a get from the time of the giving of the get. That or else if the get is only a get after the Tanai is fulfilled, he's dead already. Surely it's not a get. So it's the two rights to Rav Huna. Two rights like Rav Huna. Shift to Rav Yehuda. Mia Tanohavi. Everyone holds Mia is like Al Kaponim. In any case, everybody holds that it's a condition. Tano is a condition. The question was, is it a condition or is it only take effect when condition means that it takes effect right away on the condition that's fulfilled? But it's but the other way was that it's only you get when it happens. So you see, everybody holds that it's a condition, like Rav Huna. Rav Yehuda. Both of these brises are against Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda, Amani Rebbe, the Amar Rav Huna, Rebbe, Kalam Almanas, Kama Miyachshav Dami. So the Gemara didn't mention these words yet, but now we're going back that the Mishnah used the words almanas. What did it say in the Mishnah? These words almanas is a famous machlokes. Whenever you say on the condition, some hold that it means from now. Without saying the word, it's unspoken. If you say I'm doing something on the condition means it's happening right away. Saying almanas is the same way as they would have said me'achshav. So here in the Mishnah says almanas. So we just talk. There's some machlokes we have is only if you hold that almanas does not necessarily mean me'achshav. But there's a Mandiyama that says that every time almanas always means as if you said me'achshav. So that they're not talking about. Right. Rav Yehuda says that this brisa goes according to Rebbe that says Rav Huna said in the name of Rebbe. Anybody said whenever you say almanas, as if you said me'achshav. So according to him, for sure, it takes effect right away. And then you want to know if the money could be given afterwards to him, to the Yorshim. That's fine, according to Rebbe. But Upligi Rabbanan. Again, smaller. Upligi Rabbanan Allah. What's that? Dama Rav Huna Amar Rebbe. Rav Huna, in the name of Rebbe, said, Kaloma Almanas Koma Miachshel Dami. Whenever anybody that says Almanas is as if he said from now, which is what Rav Huna said in our Mishnah, but he's saying that surely Rebbe holds like that. But the Rabbanan argue on that klal of Koma Almanas Koma Miachshel. I'm going according to Rabbanan, and I'm saying the Rabbanan argue on Rebbe. What does Rav Huna hold? That there is no such machlokes. Rav Huna holds that that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Almanas over here, and Rav Huna said that it takes effect later on. It takes effect right away. That means that Rav Huna holds there's no such machlokes Rebbe and Rabbanan. He holds everybody holds that Almanas is Kama Miachshav. That seems to be the whole machlokes over here. What does Almanas mean? Now we're saying that Rebbe surely holds that Almanas is now. And what are Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda arguing about? Is there a Rabbanan that argue? Maybe. So what do we see that Rav Huna himself will not say according to the Rabbanan? So there's no machlokes then. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees according to Rebbe is Kama Miachshav. Everybody agrees according to Rabbanan it's not. So there's no real machlokes between Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda. Just are we going to pass them like maybe? But who our Mishnah is, you don't see any. Everyone should agree. Yes, he says that there's a machlokes about this issue. And I was going according to Rabbanan, and according to Rebbe, I agree according to Rebbe. And the prices you brought me, that goes according to Rebbe, that holds that Amanas is Kemachshav. But I don't hold like I'm going according to Rabbanan. Rabbanan hold that Amanas is not like Meachshav. And Ravuna, that's so I'm not getting clear now. So what are they arguing about? Everybody agrees that according to Rebbe it is Kemeachshav, and it's a get right away, and everybody else according to Rabbanan it's not Kemeachshav, so there's no machlokes. So I'm not sure. Our Mishnah. So our Mishnah doesn't say anything. Our Mishnah says Almanas v'titein. So you see in the word v'titein, they're arguing what our Mishnah holds. Okay, if so, everyone agrees that it's a machlokes tanon. And the question is what our Mishnah means when it says how do you read the word v'titein? What is the mashmor? It's just like in the lashon of the Mishnah. Who's the Mishnah? But everyone knows. Everyone agrees it's machlokes tanon about it. Okay, it could be. Lam Rab Zera ki avinan bevovel aminan hadam ravun amrevi koloma amanas kama me'achshav dami pligi rabbanan alei. When we were in Bavel, Rab Zera was one of the Amorim that first lived in Bavel, and then he moved to Eretz Yisrael. That's why sometimes you find Rab Zera, sometimes Rebbe Zera, because before he went to Eretz Yisrael, he didn't have smicha, and it's called Rab Zera, Rebbe Zera, after he got smicha. So he said when we were in Bavel, we used to say that Rabbanan Rebbe that says Koloma Kama Me'achshav Dami, the Rabbanan argue. That Rabbanan Rebbe only said it Rebbe, but the Rabbanan argue. But Kisliki, when I came up to Eretz Yisrael, Ashkachte, this Mamash on the day, the anniversary, Kisliki. Ashkachte Rabbi Yasi the Yosef Akama Mishmei the Rabbi Yochanan Akolmo the Amanas Koma Me'achshav Dami. So this is the issue we're talking about now. That according to Rabbi Yehuda there's a machlokes, and there's an issue. And Rabbi Yehuda, I don't know. Rabbi Yochanan says that everybody agrees Koma Amanas Koma Me'achshav Dami, even the Rabbanan. That's what Huna was saying. I'm not getting the names now. We said we're questioning what Rav Huna meant. Did Rav Huna mean only according to Rebbe, but the Rabbanan argue? Or Rav Huna meant to go into everybody. So Rav Huna's now is up for discussion. What does Rav Huna mean to say? Okay, I'll try to get more clarity. So Rav Yochanan says that everybody agrees that Kama Manas Kama Me'achshav Dami. The machlokes between Rebbe and Rabbanan is if he says Mayom Ala Chamisa, which was a couple of days ago we had this issue, and the Mishnah says that it's confusing when he says Hayom Ala Chamisa. What does he mean? It's get Eno get. Well, let's just say because we're not sure what he said. Did he mean to retract, or did he mean to Chamisa? And they were saying it. So Rebbe over there says that it's a get. So I want to say they're not sure. Rebbe says that it's a get. That's the machlokes. But if he said Almanas, everybody holds that it's Almanas. It's from Me'achshav. The Amud Beis, the Tanya. Oh yeah, yes, but Tanya is not a kasha. But Tanya is Benichusa, as Rashi says. This is going to be a proof. Rashi, the first word, Benichusa over there. This is a statement, not a kasha. Ma'ayom ola chamisa get ve'eno get divrei chachamim. Rabbi Omer kazeh get. This is the case where you see that they're arguing about Ma'ayom ola chamisa, that the Rabbanan say that it's a suffix, what he means. And Rabbi says that it's a get because this is called almanas. This is called like me'achshav, I'm sorry. And what does it want me to say? But if it would have said almanas, then it wouldn't be a machlokes. The fact that the Brisa talks about the case of Ma'ayom ola chamisa, that's where Rabbi says that it's me'achshav. Mashma that if it would have been almanas, then everybody would hold that it's me'achshav. It sounds like these two terms, either almanas or me'ayom ola chamisa, almanas is more pashut that it means me'achshav. So here, if it says Rebbe holds in this case that it's me'achshav, mashma that in the case of almanas, everybody would have held that it's me'achshav. So this is Rav. What are we saying? That this is Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says that Rav Huna is everybody. So Rav Huna or Rebbe is not dafka or Rebbe. Rav Huna is going to be, even though he said in the name of Rebbe, Rav Huna holds that everybody holds like that. Although Rav Yehuda suffix if it's a get. What does he mean to say? I said Bayom Ola Chamisa. Does he mean that it's first he said Me'ayom, then he changed his mind and said that really Shmi La Chamisa. Even though he said in the same sentence, he changed his mind while he was talking, and he says only wants it to be a get after Misa, or maybe he meant to say that's a get now on the condition that I die. When I die, then so we weren't sure, and Rebbe is sure. Rebbe says because they get, and you say that it's a get from now on the when he dies, on the condition that he dies. So what are we coming out now? That Rav Huna or Rav Yochanan says that everybody holds Hamanas is Koma Me'achshav Dami, and Rav Yehuda is the one who says that only Rebbe says that, but Rabbanan will argue. That's what's coming out. That they're really arguing. Everyone agrees. No, not everybody agrees. They're arguing what Rabbanan holds. So different than I said before, or that everybody, they're arguing what the Rabbanan hold by Almanas. Everybody holds that according to Rabbi Almanas is Kama Me'achshav. Machlokes is what the Rabbanan hold. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the Rabbanan argue and say Almanas is not Kama Me'achshav. And everyone says everybody holds like that, only arguing by Ma'ayom Ola Chamisa. So that's what comes out now. Okay, a little better than before. According to Rav Yehuda, they're arguing by Almanas also. So how come this Bryce only talks about Meyom Ola Chamisa? It should have said a bigger chiddush that even by Almanas, the Rabbanan say that it's not Meyachshav. The answer is Lo Diacha Kofa the Rebbe. The Bryce chose this case. They're arguing in both cases, both in Almanas and by Meyom Ola Chamisa. I wanted to say this case to say the chiddush of Rebbe that even in the case of Meyom Ola Chamisa, this also means from now. Meyom Ola Chamisa means Meyachshav. And that's a bigger chiddush. So the Gemara says the opposite. It's fine to say the chiddush the other way, that the Rabbanan say that even Almanas is not K'mei Achshav. The answer is Koch the Torah the Flay. It's a bigger. We'd like to say the chiddush of the one that says more Heterim. That means that is a good get. Rabbi holds a chiddush that even by Ma'ayom Ola Chamisa, this also means Ma'ayom Ola Chamisa, Ma'ayom Me'achshav, and it is a good get. So we wanted to say that. Okay, so now we can Misakim that the whole sugya was one sugya. Everything we learned today was one sugya. If someone says Almanas doesn't mean Me'achshav or not. And that's so we could make akdama that Rebbe holds surely. Everybody agrees according to Rebbe Almanas Kama Me'achshav Dami, and therefore whatever nafkamina by Gittin by Kedushin it takes effect right away as long as the Tanai is fulfilled. Machlokes Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda, what do Rabbanan hold about Almanas? Do they also agree Almanas is Kama Me'achshav? That's what Rav Huna says, and Rabbi Yehuda says no. That's only Rebbe. Rabbanan hold it's not Me'achshav Dami, and therefore it only takes effect when the Tanai is fulfilled. More or less. The koach of being matir is better. So if there's a question, is it a get or not? That a heter will be that it is a good get. To say that it's a get is a bigger chiddush, is a bigger koach. We'd like always to say the koach of the matir. For some reason, I saw sometimes people talk about that. It's more reason it's supposed to be matir. It doesn't mean that. It means that you have to be stronger in order to say heter. If you're not sure, you say aser. You have to be a bigger chacham. You have to be decisive to be able. That doesn't mean since koach to teirodiv, so I'm going to be matir. It's not ridiculous. I'm not sure how people say such a thing, but I've heard people say that. Yeah, right. You can't say, I'll be matir, I'll be a big Talmud Chacham. You have to be a big Talmud Chacham in order to be matir. Okay. The next mission said that if you said the condition with a limited time, 30 days, you have to within 30 days, also pashut. If she fulfilled the condition within 30 days, it's a get. If not, she comes on the 31st day, too late. Pshita, what's the chiddush? That's what the time was, 30 days. Maybe he didn't really mean exactly 10 or 30 days. He just said he wants it fast because he wanted to get her going, to be mizarez. What's a nice word for it, to be mizarez? Expedite. Very nice. So, really, his kipeda is not really kipeda. His being makbid is not, he didn't really mean to be makbid. Exactly 30 days. And if it's not 30 days, it's not a get. He didn't mean that. He just wanted to be mizarez. He just wanted to speed her up. Kamash Malan, that he means it. If he said 30 days, what he means, he says what he means, and therefore, if it's not 30 days, she didn't fulfill it tonight. Then the Mishnah had a third thing, which was that we didn't see the connection. Over there, what happened? He asked for the talis. I'm going to give me back my talis, and she didn't have it. They just wanted to give her money instead. Then he says, good enough. My Tana Diktani Maisa, what's the connection? Whenever it says a Maisa, it's always supporting something that I said before. And here it's not supporting anything. The first Mishnah said you have to have a Tanai, and within 30 days is 30 days. And that was a new question. It's a nice question, but nothing to do with what we spoke about before. So the Mishnah, the more 16, you're right. You have to stick in something, you have to amend something. Something's missing in the Mishnah. You have to stick in Imam Allah Menashe Titin Liat Salisi, Ravda Saliso, is Salisi Davka Kamala. You have to stick in the Tanakama. Tanakama says that if he said talis and she doesn't have the talis, so then she didn't fulfill the Tanai, and the value is not good enough. If he said talis is Davka talis, maybe he'll change, maybe he'll give another get, but the get that he gave was only good if he gives a talis. Rav Shimon Gamliel argues on Tanakama and says that the money is good enough. Rav Shimon Gamliel now he brought a story to support himself. I raise a gita hamanashe titan yatzlisi, love this talisa of amruchachomim titan lo astameh. So now the Mishnah makes sense. We were wondering how does it come in out of no place. The answer is there's something missing. There was a machlokes on the comment of Shimon Gamliel. If he made a tanai for the talis and she doesn't have the talis, can she give money or not? And the comment says no, not good enough. Rav Shimon Gamliel says yes, and then he brought a support from the story in Sidon. Right, or it's sometimes the Rishonim say that it's understood. From the words, you can figure out that that's what the Mishnah meant to talk about, even though it doesn't say so. But that's either sometimes the Gemara sticks in the words and you really have to edit it, or it means that it's understood from the reading. That's what the Mishnah means. Rabbi Yochanan. I raised a Gita Chamanasha Titin the Musayim Zuz. First he gave her a get, I'll deny that she gives him 200 Zuz. And after he gave her the get, he's mochel the money. Is that good enough? Because the get that he gave it Tanai. Maybe he wants to give another get, that's fine. But the get that he gave it only with a Tanai, and the Tanai was not fulfilled. What do you say? Mahu. And this might be dependent on the machlokas we just said, that he wanted the talis. You say take it literally, and she didn't give the talis, or you don't take it so literally. Maybe it's dependent on that question. And the Gemara says it's not dependent. And either tzad, both if you say that by the talis it has to be dafka the talis, or it doesn't have to be dafka the talis, it's not dependent on this question. We have a question both according to Rabbanan that say talis dafka, or according to Hashem Gamil that says lav dafka, you can give the value of the talis. Maybe over there he said talis, and he wasn't mochel the talis. He wasn't mochel. So she wants to give the value of the talis. So Rabbanan say the value of the talis is not the talis. But over here, if he said mechulim lach, it's as if it was given. Like kilo es kabalti. It's as if the money was given. Instead of giving it back and forth, it's okay. He says it's as if you gave it to me. It's as if you gave it to me is good enough. That's just how to say that it's good, even according to Rabbanan, who say that talis is dafka. This also is not good enough. It's considered dafka. Even though she didn't give the money, mechila is like she gave it. O Dilma, you can say the other side that it's not good by the mechila, even according to Hashem Gamliel. I feel Hashem Gamliel lo kama ela de kama faisal lebed mei. But Hashem Gamliel, at least she gave the value of the talis. But over here, she's not giving anything. So there's a side both ways. We don't know. The Gamri lo, not completely, but completely means to be mochel the whole thing, to forego the whole thing. First he said 200 zuz. Then he says forget about it. It's okay. So maybe Hashem Gamliel, you have to give the get again. The get that you gave was only out of the condition, and you didn't fulfill the condition. The money of the talis is considered fulfilling the condition, but maybe mechil is not considered for. So the Gemara has this question. The Gemara says it's a valid question, and it's not dependent on the above machlokas about the Hashem Gamliel and Rabbanan by the talis. So that was a question who asked. From Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan said, so it's not good. According to anybody, it seems like it's not according to Rabbanan Shul, even according to Hashem Gamliel. Mechil is not good enough. If he wants to be mochel, he has to give another get. What? Right. It's not enough. Even according to Hashem Gamliel, it's not enough. Maybe. That's what the Gemara said, that it's not dependent on the above question. Eisvei, Akasha from Mishnah. I'm always embarrassed that I don't know if it's a Mishnah or Brisa. Okay. We have to ask the kids over there. Someone he wanted that he felt that his fellow man, he was supposed to give him something, whatever the reason is. I always give you, you never gave me, whatever the case is. So he says, I'm answering that you cannot benefit from me if you don't give to my son a big amount of chita, 30 sa, and 2 barrels of wine. If you don't give me, you don't give my son, my son. So we're going to be also about no. Atanen Ali came many men from me. But may Omer also there's nothing to do. He made a neder. So if he doesn't give the core chitim and the 2 barrels of wine, so then there's Isra no. That was his neder. Here the issue is not tonight. Here the question is if there's a way that Mechila is going to help. He said that the question is going to be in the next point. He could be mochel if he wants to. According to Rameir, there's no way out. He's also but no unless he gives it. The Chachamim say, there's a way to get out of the neder even without doing mata neder. If he's mata neder, it's fine. But if he's not mata neder, the Chachamim say there's still a way to get out of it. The Omer, it's as if I got it. It's as if, so even though you didn't give it to me, you can give it to me, I'll give it back to you again. So mechil is good enough. That's what the Chachamim say. So the Gemara thinks that depends on this machlokes. This issue about mechila, is it good? It seems to be a machlokes or mein Rabbanan. So you're saying mechila is not good. The Chachamim will say mechila is good enough. Right. First he said, let's go to the best. He just says, kilo is kabalti. No Chacham, on his own, he'll be the Chacham. Says that? He doesn't have to go to a Chacham. Shalo al pi Chacham. He can get out of the nether without not through a Chacham. Shalo al pi Chacham. Yes, kilo is kabalti. It's not really it's not really a Toros Nedarim. It's cute. It's not the Toros Nedarim, right? It's not a Toros Nedarim. He's just saying that I got it and I gave it back to you. The neder is what? What? But you're right. So it's not really a Toros Nedarim at all. A Toros Nedarim is that he's getting off the neder retroactively. Here, the neder is chal, but it was fulfilled. You said you have to give you. Yeah, you have to give me. I said you have to give me. You gave me. It's as if you gave me. I gave it back to you. It's fine. That's called mechila, in other words. As if you gave it to me. So you see, mechila is good. So the Gemara says that what this case of gerushin also, that if mechila is good over there, mechila should be good over here also. The Gemara doesn't see a difference. That's the Gemara's kasha on. If Yochanan said that it's not good, the other Chum say it is good. The Gemara says it's not a comparison. The reason why I made a Tanai over there by the 200 zuz is because he wanted to get back at her, whatever the reason is. He had a reason to be mitzayir, to pain her. He wanted to pain her, and if he's mochel, he didn't pain her. So he wants to change his mind. Okay, you want to change your mind, so then give another get. But to say the same get, then it's as if nothing. He didn't accomplish what he had originally said. But over here, we could assume that the reason why he wanted the money, the kor chitim and the 2 barrels of wine, is not because he wanted to paint the guys, because he wanted to get. He wanted the money. He doesn't need it. He thought he needed it, and now he got rich himself. He won the lottery. He doesn't need it anymore. So he says it's fine. So that's okay. But over here, the thing that he wanted, he's not fulfilling it. He didn't get it. He didn't get the tzara. He wasn't mitzara. So he wants to change his mind, not to be mitzara. Okay, that's a new deal. But it's not, he can't say that amochel, and it's as if she had to pay out the money. She didn't shell out the money. So she wasn't paying. So maybe over here, that's why Rabbi Yochanan says that ain't a mugareshus. Story, yes. Right, I get. And then first he said, I'm not sure give me 200 zuz, and then he said, I'm mochel. So the mochel is not fulfilling what he wanted originally. It's just saying I wanted to pain you, and now I don't want to pain you. But he didn't pain her. That's why maybe it's not good. And if he wants to change his mind, he has to give her a new get. The first get that he gave was only on the condition that she's going to be paid. But over here, he's nothing with pain. Here he just wanted the money. We understand he only wanted the person to give him a kor chitim because he needed the kor chitim, or his son needed the kor chitim. But if his son doesn't need it, it's fine. I don't know if I understand it so well, but those are the words of the Gemara. That goes on. He doesn't need that money. Oh, Gavra, someone said to his sharecropper, Kul Yalma, the more still continuing this issue about if you said something doesn't mean exactly what you meant, or we could think what you said or what you meant. Here is a story someone said to his oris, to a sharecropper, that he works in the field and he gets a certain share. Kul Yalma dalut last albasa va'achi riba. The regular standard price salary for a sharecropper is that he has to water 3 times a year, Rashi says, and he gets a quarter of the crop. That's the regular standard price, the going rate. But he wanted that his sharecropper should work more and get paid more. The liarba, vechol tilsa. I want you to water the field 4 times a year, and you'll get a third of the crop. Okay, nice deal. They made up that deal. So for mitra, at the end, it rained by the 4th time, 4 times a year, 3 times. So now I want you to work more, and you'll get more. That was a nice deal. Work more, and you get more. Vachul tilsa. Are you holding? Yeah, and eat a third. You take a third of the crop. Water 4 times. Everyone waters 3 times and gets a quarter of the crop, and you water 4 times and get a third of the crop. What?
Whatever it is. It's the same portion increase.
Okay. The self-asa mitra. It rained, so he didn't have to work extra. Nothing to he can't water a 4th time. A rain came, and he couldn't do more. But he wants to know: does he get a third or a quarter? What's his salary? He should get it. But he didn't. He can't water it because it's going to flood it. He can't water it again. It's not necessary. It doesn't help. It's even detrimental. So what do you say? Whatever you say. Amr Rav Yosef, although Dalla, he didn't work. He didn't water it, so he's not going to get the extra money. He didn't need it, so he does get the money. The Gemara thinks it depends on the machlokas before. Lame Rav Yosef Damak Rabbanan that say that whatever you said, it's what you said, not what you meant. What you said, and he said you have to if you water it 4 times. You didn't water it 4 times. The Gemara, I wouldn't have connected it. That here the Gemara saying that according to Rabbanan, you made a condition. You said whatever you said. You said. You don't go into the longest. The case of that now. He said what was the case? He said a talus, and then she doesn't have the talus. So is the money good enough? So Rabbanan say he said a talus is only a talus. You have no talus, no get. And Rav Shimon Gamliel says if you meant the value of the talus. And here what? Here is the same thing. That according to Rav Yosef that he said if you water 4 times, you didn't water 4 times. Rav Shimon Gamliel that he meant to say what? That if he needs it, I don't see it. Even though the words were if you water 4 times, it doesn't mean that you have to water 4 times. If it gets watered 4 times, I don't see the. I really don't see the comparison. I don't understand. But right, he doesn't get paid the extra. He gets the standard because he didn't work. He said you water 4 times, you'll get the extra. He didn't water 4 times. You're working. And according to Rabbi, the point we said like Shimon Gamliel that as long as it got watered, I don't care how it got watered. It is bra. It can't be that it's dependent. Lema. If Yosef holds like Rabbanan, Rabba Shimon Gamliel. Let us say that the argument of this machlokes, but the Gemara says it can't be. It is bra. We always pass like Rabba against Rav Yosef. We're going to see soon that usually we do pass like Rav Shimon Gamliel, but not in this case. So you can't say Rabba was like Rav Shimon Gamliel because the psak is not going to. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. That what do people mean when they say these words? What does he mean? He said water 4 times. What does he mean? I don't see the comparison between. I can see such a machlokes, but I don't see it dependent on the machlokes. When somebody made a tanai, if he means the talus or he means the value of the talus, then I don't see that. I don't see that every time a person talks, they're always going to say if it's dependent on this machlokes, if he means exactly. I'm not sure. Everybody was like the Rabbanan. Everybody like the Rabbanan, not the Shimon Gamliel. The talus is dafka talus, and still there's room for machlokes. But Yosef Rabbanan, the dafka, what I said work 4 times. You didn't work 4 times, you don't get extra money. Even according to Rabbanan, by talus is dafka talus, but by the rain is good enough. The reason why Rabbanan say dafka talus is because he wanted to be Messiah. That's why he wants dafka talus. He wanted his talus, but you might say that since he's giving her a get and they're not in good terms, so it could be that he told her more that he wanted to paint her, and if he didn't get the talus, he doesn't want to give a get. Here, all he wants that the water the field should be watered, and it got watered, so he doesn't care more than that. I mean, why should he pay? But I don't understand. He wants to pay for nothing. He wants that the water, if I need to be watered, but it didn't need to be watered, so why should you get the money? I'll give tzedakah, I'll give I'll thank Hashem. What does that have to do with you? I could see. And the guy, the field didn't need it. Okay. But, okay. And the more says this is not totally in this machlokes before, but the more says a spur because by the Rabbanan say because by the get he wants Tafka to be with Tzara, so that's why it goes literally with what I said. You don't do literally what I said, so no get. But over here we go with the svara, and the svara is that he does if he needs it. If he doesn't need it, if he doesn't need it, what? He'll still pay. Okay, I can't say I understand, but if everybody's happy, first one line. Tonight, listen. But we shall know. Where's this Mishnah? Probably. But we shall know. The Allah is by Bati Arachom. If somebody sells a house in a walled city, a walled city has more kedusha than an unwalled city. Like nowadays, we don't know which of the walled cities too much, but the walled cities are from Yeshua ben Nun. The whole city, yeah, the whole city. Not that has a wall now. That had a wall times of Yeshua ben Nun. All the places where they read the Megillah on the 15th, if you know that it was a walled city. So there's a special halacha Bati Arachoma, and over there, if somebody sells it, he has 1 year to buy it back. If he doesn't buy it back within the first year, so then the buyer keeps it permanently. That's a mitzvah. Other things go back in Yobel. This doesn't go back in Yobel. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't really read it yet. Yovel. Yovel goes back usually. No. Tananasa, Mishnah Nerchen, Barishona, originally, Vayanitman Yom Shnei Masa Chodesh. On the end of the first year, that the seller didn't buy it back, so the buyer wanted to keep it. He was getting close to get the jackpot, that he'll be able to keep it if the guy doesn't pay. But the guy then doesn't want to pay. The seller wants to buy it back. So he used to go on vacation. He used to run away someplace that he shouldn't be able to find him. Now, really, that's not so kosher because the guy has a right to buy it back the first year. So he would hide. And at the end, all the last month, Yom Shnei Nitman was to hide. He would hide. He would hide. Yom Shnei Masa Chodesh. On the end of the 12th month. Means, it says on Yom Shnei Masa Chodesh. He has Shnei Masa Chodesh, 12 months. On the day of the 12th month, which means the last day, of course, if he wanted to take a bigger precaution, he would run away the last week or the last month. As long as he wanted to avoid the seller from being able to buy it back. In order that the field should be, the house should be absolutely his. So that wasn't fair to the seller. Hiskin Hilazakin Sheikholis is most of Lishkas Lishka, Yeshovas Adelis Venichnas, and Messiah Yitzhak, Yavo Vitalis most of Hilazakin made a takana that he could throw the money. Holish. Rashi says to throw. Zorik. Okay? That he could throw his money into a special chamber in the safe deposit box of the Bezdin. And he says, this is the money that I'm wanting to pay back. He's not here, so you take it for me. And then he could break the door of the house to go into his old house. And whenever the other one wants to pick up his money, he can pick up his money. It's waiting for him in Bezdin. So he pays Bezdin as a escrow or whatever. So what do you see? That the person didn't want to accept the money. The buyer didn't want to accept the money. How's it go? The buyer didn't want to accept the money. And we made a takana that you could pay against his will. You go to Bezdin, you give the money. So you go to Bezdin and you give the money. This is the money I want to pay to my buyer. Right, it's fine. I can go back and break the door down and enter. Rava said about that. Part of the Mishnah. Whenever that one wants to, whenever the buyer wants to, Yavo Vital Mo'esmos, he can come pick up his money. That's all part of the Mishnah. Takanas Hillel, we have to give the money to Bezdin and go break down the door, and the buyer could come pick up his money whenever he wants to. But I paid him back. Hillel said we could learn out from this takana. When his son-in-law, he died to Megureshes, I'll call him Meguresh. What will be the din? Made it tonight. I'll give you a get out tonight. You give me 200 zuz. Then she comes to give him the 200 zuz, and he says, I don't want it. Does he have the right to say, I don't want it? She wants to. Does he have the right? She wants to give the money. She wants to give the money if 200 zuz, no one to get the get. She wants to fulfill the get. She wants to fulfill the condition in order to get the get. So the condition was she has to give 200 zuz. She wants to give 200 zuz. But now he changed his mind. He doesn't want to give it. He doesn't want to be a get. He changed his mind. He wants to try again. So he says, I don't want the money. But she wants to get. He wasn't about to get. The get he gave her, the get he gave her already. Let's say we pass in Amanas that it's if she fulfills the condition, now the get is retroactive. Yes, and she wants to. Yes, and she wants it. She comes to give it to him. I don't want it. About there, no, it's not about that. He says it's not. He says that I never got the money. I don't want to get to be. Yeah, but he wasn't about to get. It's too late to be about to get because he gave the get already. All he can do is that the condition, if he could stop the condition from being fulfilled. So he thinks he has a way to stop the condition from being fulfilled. He says, I don't want the money. I don't accept the money. I'm not. So it says, me die, she gave it to him. So it explains, me die to, if he accepts it willingly, then she's divorced. But if it's against his will, she gave it to him against his will, ain't a Mugureshes. As if you would read it, when the son-in-law me die to Mugureshes, when the son-in-law al Korcho, ain't a Mugureshes. So what do you see? Rabbi says, I can learn out from Hillel's takana that usually to give somebody a present against the will doesn't work. Yeah, Hillel had to make a special takana. Since Hillel had to invent a special takana that he could give it against the will of the buyer, Only he made a special takana that it works. Top of the next page. The fact that he'll have to make a takana, that means without the takana, he couldn't give it against his will. So yes, that's what the must. So what do you see? What do you see in it? She is ready. Yeah, that's not enough. No, it has to be. She has to be. Got the money. But the one doesn't say. Yeah. That's the question. That's not the question. No, the Gemara sees it as a valid possibility that if I could stop you because in order to give a matan transaction, you have to have a giver and a taker. I don't agree to be a taker. I don't want to take. So you can't give me if I don't want to take. The agreement, it's understood. The agreement means give and take. So I don't want to take. So you can't give. You can't give it to me against my will. So at the time I did. At the time I made such a tanai, but now the tanai is still the tanai. But you still need me to be an active partner in the fulfillment of the tanai. No, probably he changed his mind. She wants to get, and he doesn't want to get it anymore. Let's say he's not changing his mind. He's utilizing the fact that you need him also. Part of the Tanai was that he should agree. He doesn't agree. He left himself place. He said that the Tanai would be if we're going to dance together. And I'm not willing to dance. So I'm willing to dance. I'm not willing to dance. You need two. You need two over here in order to make a transaction. You have to give and you have to take. I don't want to take. So I left room for myself. If I would have said on condition that you do a somersault, so I can't stop you from doing a somersault. But if your condition was you should give me something, I can stop because I don't want to accept it. That's someone's question. So Rabbi sees the fact that he'll have to make a takana by this fancy case of Batei that you could give it against his will. That means that usually you can't give a present against somebody's will. Batei, like Batei Machsa, houses. Batei Orechoma, the houses of the cities that have a wall. Orechoma is walled cities. Batei Orechoma, the houses of the walled city. Maskeflar Papa, Vitemer of Shimi Barashi, Viduma Kisach Leil Tukunish, Lobafana, Bafana, Bemidat, Bemakocho, having the Sina. But Papa says it's not arrived from this whole thing. By the Batei Orechoma, over there, the Takana was of Hill that even though the guy's not here, the guy went on vacation, he's not here. So therefore, to give it to him against his will, that's a chiddush. You can't give somebody a present if he's not here. And usually, to be mazaka somebody, it's only if he wants it. He doesn't want it over here. So that's the chiddush. That's like Har Pashim Shad. That the chiddush of Hillel was that I could give money to him even though he's not here. I go to Bez and I say I'm giving him money. And usually you have to be mazaka. He has not a schus for him. He doesn't want to get the money. But to give it to him to his face, maybe you could give somebody a present against his will. I thought it's partial always you can't. How could you give somebody money against his will? He doesn't want to take a present. I'm surprised that the Gemara says it's sad that you could give it against somebody's will. If Papa says maybe you could give somebody a present against somebody's will, but Dafko by Hillel, they have to make a special takana because over there it was not in his presence. But usually you're still agreeing that somebody buying the house back, it's also not a present. No, but the Gemara does compare it. Can I buy a house from somebody against his will? Can I? Of course not. Can I buy a house from somebody against his will? What's the Torah law? So I have the right to buy it back. That's what we're talking about. I'm saying that. So what does that have to do with the whole subject over here? Of course, he has no right to decline. You're saying he has no right to decline. So Rabbi didn't look at it like that. Rabbi looked at he did have the right to decline. I hear what you're saying. Rabbi doesn't look at the first piece, the end of the previous page. Rabbi thought that you have to have a special account of Hillel in order to force and to sell it back. You're saying the Torah says you have to sell it back. I don't know. He didn't look at it like that. he has, I don't know, he has a right to buy it back, but like, only if he agrees. What? My Papa says, then you wouldn't need it. You wouldn't need Hillel. If he was there, you wouldn't need Hillel. You should be. Your Papa's on your side, maybe. Your Papa's on your side. That of course I can give it to him by over there against his will, by the Torah law. But your Papa's also applying it to the case of the get. Also, they don't say you're avoid about the here. The Torah says so because they are applying it to the case of the get. The only question is, b'fanav shalom b'fanav. But they do look at it like the Torah says he has the right to buy it back. But that doesn't mean necessarily I have to accept. The Torah doesn't say I have to accept the money. Right. That's what the Papa is saying. That is only the Chiddush was he can do it to the Bezdin without his presence, and that usually you can't do. But otherwise you would be able to do it against his will, not only by the Torah law of Batei Arachoma, but by the case of the get also, that she can throw the money to him. So no, Zocha for sure, because it is not a schus. He doesn't want the money. Schus means only to his benefit. No, but ain't chavalot shlo b'fanav. Here it's detrimental. He doesn't want it. No, we know what he wants. He went on vacation because you have to know he'll be back and we'll be back. No, he was the one who wants to give it. It has to be one for who's getting it, the buyer, and it's not his chus. So no one could be zoch of him. So they're going into balkarche. And here the question is, can you do a balkarche? Maybe b'fanav, maybe shalom b'fanav. Iked Amri. Others have a different version in the whole thing, the opposite version. Amar Rava. Rava said the opposite. In the first version, Rava said that the sin of balkarche is not good. Only Hillel is takana. Here goes the other way. Mitakanasa shel Hillel, I raised the gitech. Amanash, titin limusayim zuz, and usanalo. Maybe not the ben shel balkarche having the sin. Here, Rava is the opposite. The point is version. From Hillel's takana, I could learn out that the case of giving a get al tanai, you've torn it zuz, and she gave it against his will, it is a good get. Why? Because ki yisruch leHillel et kunei shelo b'fanav. Avol b'fanav maybe that the ben balkarche having the sin. Mamash v'drapa. Here is the opposite. Here, Rava is the one who said this word. That the whole takana of Hillel was only because he wasn't around. He ran away to him on vacation, and that's the reason why I made a takana, give it to you in his absence. But if it would have been b'fanav, you wouldn't have had to have Hillel's takana because if he wouldn't have gone away hidden and going and hiding, so then he could give the money to him balkarche. So what do you see? That you couldn't give money balkarche. Maybe Yaakov would ask over here also. What's the comparison here? Is because the Torah says he has to sell it back, and that's not a right to get. So no one says this. Maybe Yaakov has a kasha. You're right. That seems to be right. That wouldn't be a question. If the guy runs away, that his wife shouldn't be able to give him the money, then the heart is no question that he succeeded. She didn't give him the money. That's the heart for sure. Yeah, that for sure. That's true. And according to this version, Maska Rav Shimi, Papa Vitem Rav Shimi Barashi, Papa Vitem Rav Shimi Barashi, Vitem Mafilu Bafanav, Nami, Midai to Al Kohala. Maybe he'll really need a takana even if he'd be there also. Without a takana, you can't give a present Al Kohala. Even by the Batei Arachoma, you can't give a present if you're not, I would have accepted. Hillel might disreflate takan. And Hillel, that he made a takana is because that was the case. The people were running away and they were hiding. But Enochnam, even if it wouldn't have been hiding, they didn't have the face probably to stay there and they say, I don't want the money. That was too much of a chutzpah. Went on vacation, then he got so it was neither. But Enochnam, even if it would have been there, also he would have to make it a takana because Nesina Balkochol Losh Manasina. So it comes out machlokus in these two versions. And who says what? It's the whole issue. Nesina Balkochol, could you give a present to somebody against his will? And I would think, of course, you can't. And the Gemara doesn't have this, of course. And maybe Yaakov is saying that it's only over there. Then the Torah says he has to sell it back. I don't know. It doesn't say it because he might not accept it. Two more lines. Every place in the whole Mishnah is whoever says Rav Shimon Gamliel, you pass like him, except for three exceptions, and one is our Mishnah. What's my Arev? Let's Sidon, Berayach Rona. So there's the three sugis in Shas. One of them is called Sidon. That's our Mishnah. Ma'aseh b'Sidon. This case that he said Talis, then it means not Dafka Talis. The money's good enough. That's Rav Shimon Gamliel. Do Rabbanan argue? He's Mechasur Mechasur Rabbanan argue, and you don't pass like Rav Shimon Gamliel. That was the most pointed for that Rabba couldn't be like Rav Shimon Gamliel because you don't pass like Rav Shimon Gamliel. We do pass like Rabba. Rashi says. Rashi tells us this is not relevant to us, but Rashi tells us, Arev Rashi doesn't even tell you. Rashi is at the end of blah blah blah. So he doesn't tell you what it's about. And Rashi doesn't tell you what it's about. And Raya Achrona, he says, like, if the Raya Achrona means there's two mishnayos. One is the first case, one is the second case. So the second case, Raya Achrona. The second case about a Raya. The case was over there. They said, Bezdin told them, any Raya, any proof you have, bring within 30 days. And he didn't bring it till after 30 days. So Machlokas, if that's good enough. Second case is that he said, I don't have any proof. He said, if you have any proofs, bring it. They said, I have no proof. Then he came with a proof. So Rav Shem Gamliel says, what? That the Reichman means that's the second case of the Raya, right? The Sefer, the second case of Raya. If he didn't have a proof, it's the Resha. That's the Kamaisa. And if he says, I don't have any proof, and he brought a proof, so if the Rav Shem Gamliel says it's also acceptable, then what did say? No, he said, ain't Raya. He already admitted he has no proof. It must be forgery now that he brings a proof. So we pass in the first case we do pass like him, like Rashi Bekamaisa Hilchos HaKavasei, but Basraisa that's Hilchos HaKavasei. So that's Rayach. We don't pass like him in the Rayach one. And Sidon is our Mishnah. Maisa Betzidon. That talus is Dafka talus, not the value of the talus. Yashikor everybody. Thank you. Regular time tomorrow. Yeah, 11 o'clock. And I was not going to.
What time tomorrow?
Okay. Anybody else not going to?
What time tomorrow?
Tomorrow, regular time, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. What time is that by you?
Okay.
Ashraf.
Okay. I'm beginning up at 4 o'clock anyway. So. Okay, thank you.
Oh, so Ovadia Goodman said it. Ovadia Goodman said the Shia last time. Ovadia Goodman. I called the first message, and then the second. First message. The second message was Ovadia Goodman's going to say it. And then she called up to say that he said, I'm not going to be there either. Yesterday it was still recorded. Okay, Yashikach, everybody. Thank you for. And also these days, Sunday, Mondays, I thought that it's going to be good at night, but every night I have something, a wedding, a siyum. So Sunday, Monday, also I'm not going to be able to do it at night. If you could do it, we could do it 4 o'clock. Sunday, I should be able to. Monday. I should be able to. Yeah. And Monday. Okay. If I can't, I got the message again.